All right, hi everyone. Check us out as we're messing with our cool background here. Ooh, purple. All right, so we mix that up. Welcome to Glitch Happy Hour, and we have a guest today, our little glitchette, for lack of better words.
Hello, my name is Erin. I am Brian's wife and his drinking partner.
I don't know if anyone else is joining. If we have anyone else on, so far it looks like a whole of zero.
Huh.
So
That's okay, they'll get here.
So we've done that well with our stuff tonight. So for anyone catching this on the replay, this is Glitch Happy Hour. Normally for Glitch 2600, you can come in and ask any of your tech questions, whether it's computer-based, photography, videography, science. If you need a geek and need a question, I'm your geek, and I'll answer your questions. But for happy hour, we go and make a small twist. I love craft beer. She loves craft beer. I love mead. She might like mead. Cider, wine. We both love wine. And so this is a chance where you can ask those questions too. And we're going to talk about the wines, beers, craft beers. We're big fans of the Iowa craft beer movement. I think it's somewhat underrated for it, but there's just an explosion of great beer coming out of Iowa and craft beer in the U.S. in general. But then there's really good wine just everywhere. We love wine. We're big fans of a place called Wine Styles, which has different franchises throughout the U.S., but our favorite one we check out is in West Glen, Iowa. For anyone who wants to come find me, we'll be there. You can come check us out and find us quite a few days there. Not because we drink all the time, but good people there, and we like the owners and the staff. But anything we talk about tonight, you can go there and find. If they don't have it, they can track it down. Now, in some future episodes, we got some stuff from there that they might not be able to get back again, but you never know. And they're pretty resourceful if you really want something. I wouldn't be too surprised if they could find that for you. But hey, it looks like we have a viewer out there. If you're new, even if you're not new, just let us know you're there. Say hi. Let everyone else know who catches on the replay that there's someone here, and say hi. Because we would love to know you're out there. I'm going to check some out because I know the software was having some trouble with this earlier. But you can talk to people.
Also, the wine styles that we frequent is actually in West Des Moines, Iowa. It's in a little area called West Glen. And we just enjoy the atmosphere and the people that hang out there. So it's a lot of fun. And they have good wine on tap, but also good bottled wine. So you can pretty much find anything that you like. They have anything from champagne to sweet, to white, to red, anything that you are wanting to try, they usually have open.
So who do we have out there? Oh, we lost our viewers. So that's all right.
That's okay.
We may have some people jumping on later. Got to remember to look at the camera since I'm running the computer today instead of it having straight on for me. For me, normally I can be camera 1, which looks terrible, or camera 2, which is really our camera 1. So with that, 2 viewers. Who do we have on tonight? Who's saying hi? We're getting ready to start pouring some stuff. We did talk to a couple of our the people in today. We might have a little bit of a story, and hopefully get some more on later as we expand through. We did talk to one of the breweries or meaderies today, and they were able to give us some background on the one that we're drinking. So we're going to share that. That might be, I don't know if that'll be our first one or second one. I have it on the list as the first, but that only means it's on the list as the first, which got out of order anyway, so it won't be the first regardless. Side note. Why is that doing that? I just wanted to give everyone a bit of music, I guess. So, as a side note, you can follow us on Untapped at Glitch 2600. We'd love to have you there. Of course, on Facebook, you can come find us. Same thing, Glitch 2600. And if you are really creative, you can go out to YouTube and find us at Glitch 27. I'm just kidding, 2600. Which, if you're a geek, you know 2600. And where that comes from, it's a little throwback to my ex not so great other side of the law days when it comes to computers. Nowadays, I'm on the side opposite of that, but that's my little throwback there. You want looking for a good magazine, Hacker Quarterly 2600 is a favorite I like to read, so it only made sense that I was going to be Glitch 2600 because there's a lot of sites with Glitch in the name. So, going through that, I was double checking all my settings there. I forgot to set up the Zoom cam for you, so we'll have to get that later.
Sure.
I want to be large and in charge here. I like being the center of attention. You would think I was an only child. I'm the oldest. That's the sad part. Sad thing is, I don't see anyone saying anything. I want to know who's on and who's live. If you guys have questions. Otherwise, we're going to just start pouring drinks because that's the fun part. Mm-hmm. I do see there's 3 of you. Otherwise, if you can't hear me, now's the time to say so also. We'll see it there. If we're not getting our comments, then someone should probably text me. Oh, there we go.
Hi, Brian.
We're going to
Hope
fix
you're
that
well
real
today.
quick. So I'm going to fix that. So this looks like my logos. The downside is when we switch back and forth, I'm talking with the vendor, and I can only do these things in a certain order. So I'm going to fix that, turn that on, and watch this. Now we're going to make it so everyone can see. That looks so much better. Hi, Brian. You may recognize a few drinks that we may have picked up at Wine Styles. We already mentioned that being our favorite place to go. So,
and just so you know, one of the reasons why we might be running a little late tonight is you can see by our shirts, Bikes and Beers.
Which
you
Brian
can see
says.
Brian's better.
Love the shirts. Yes, it's our socially distant. If you can see the back and turn around and kind of model it. Socially distant rider at 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet. We're being responsible with our stuff.
So we went for a bike ride earlier and had our beer on the bike ride, but now we're home and ready to share a couple with you.
Have another beer. Yeah, that doesn't make us sound bad at all. So, first things first, I think we should go with the Moonlight Meadery.
Yeah.
Being that we talked to him earlier today. So, for fun, we've decided to start reaching out to the breweries we were going to start to feature. And this Meadery was one of the first that came back and extremely nice and friendly. So we wanted to know a little story behind what... beer. We wanted to know a little story behind why it's called 13.5. So, going back, it used to be called something a little different. Here, I'm going to have you take that.
Okay, got it.
It used to be called How About Them Apples? And there was another place that was using the Them Apples out of Texas. And they had just come off a little bit legal thing trying to keep the Moonlight Meadery name from another company that was owned or got bought by Lagunitas, thus Heineken, and had a lot of money. And there was a big thing for trademark. And they decided when that came through, they didn't want to, they kind of had to pick their battles and decided we just spent a bunch of money to keep our name for our meadery. Maybe we shouldn't spend the money on the name of this specific mead. So they decided to name it after something that couldn't be trademarked. A fun thing, if we look on here, down the alcohol per volume, which of course I killed my Zoom cam, so that's not going to do well. If we bring that in, the alcohol per volume is 13.5. So the mead is named 13.5 because of the percent alcohol in there. So fun little fact on there, that's what came through. And as we talk on it, just looking at what they say about it, it's made from fresh pressed apples with a bit of natural sugar, honey, cane sugar. Most meads are going to involve honey. Used to help reach the impressive strength. Then we let it age in handmade American foeders. So yeah, it used to be known as how do you like them apples and how about them apples or them apples? And I don't know. Cheers.
Cheers. It smells like apple juice.
And tastes like very alcoholic apple juice. The best apple juice ever.
Yes.
It got that cinnamon kind of flavor coming off of it.
Yeah, it does have a little bit of cinnamon.
And I really like that.
That's very good.
But I will say they were extremely nice. They made the offer to come on the show and zoom in on there, which is something I want to talk to Brian about something for, maybe a little extra thing for wine styles, beer styles. But they offered to come on as the lead maker on there. He was very open about it. The fancy light. We can change the colors too. I got that working as compared to how I failed at the other one, getting the lighting too much. But when I get those new lights in this Tuesday, I'll be able to give cool background lighting for you guys too. Especially with Dale's help. Which, for anyone, Dale has been an amazing person to work with, live producing the shows over at Wine Style. So if you think this is entertaining, you'll get way more entertainment by going over and checking out Wine Style's West Glen and see Matt, Sarah, and Brian all online doing their stuff, talking their stories. We're fun. They're more fun. So nice. Them to join. I think we should, and I will send that info, and I planned on talking with them on there. For anyone, that's what I was talking about. I did a bad job. Like I said, I did not have any of my stuff set up as well tonight. We'll have a better show this week. I guarantee you at some point I'll have it all together. It's been a crazy busy week as I started a new job.
Yes.
And getting everything together and everything I wanted to do on the weekend. But no, this is amazing. And I'm glad you think so. I think only my mother ever thinks that I'm adorable.
Well, and me too, but
At the same time, if you like, as you're going and liking our YouTube page, go and look up Wine Styles. Like I said, go to West Glen, the Wine Styles West Glen, and go like their YouTube page too. Like I said, you're just going to see a lot of fun stuff there, a lot of cool stuff. And as that expands, like I said, they have franchises in other parts of the country. And so what we love about the wine styles and the beer styles in our area, you can find, or might, likely be able to find in your area too, and get that experience. I don't know, you won't have the Matt and Brian and Andrea and Sarah experience that we get to have, but you'll get to have I'm sure they have some really cool people there too. Yes, Erin is the more adorable. I will agree. I will 100% say that is true.
Yeah.
But as I'm looking up, I want to bring up Moonlight Meadery. What's really nice is on Moonlight Meadery's webpage, which I still didn't do a great job of bringing up today, like I said this morning I was going to do. Remember how I said, yeah, I'm going to do a really good job of bringing that up today. Well, the average rating on this one has been a 3.72. Most people said apple, strong, sweet, honey, boozy. Well, yeah, because it's not a cider. It's a mead. And so the nice thing on their website, and I'm just going to kind of bring it around and show, is that they have a whole section on the process of making mead. And that's just moonlightmeadery.com. Moonlightmeadery.com. They have a whole section on cooking with mead, tasting. They've been in all sorts of different magazines. But like I said, they responded back the fastest of anyone I've talked to, because I was really bad and only sent out the email today. We picked our beers yesterday by going to Wine Styles and picking them, and then add them on today. But they talk about the honey, and all of the honey is sourced, true source and certified organic, and how it goes through. And they talk about the fruit on here that they use, the spices, and the yeast. What's really cool is their yeast, their founder, Michael, who's the one that offered to come on, has used the same yeast strain for over 21 years of mead making. And he actually says which one. So, you know, they're confident in their mead, and I like that. And I see why. It's one of the better meads I've had. I've had a few, you know, Iowa meads that are really good, and this one rivals that for me. I've had the Bumbleberry mead, which if you ever want a really cool drink, Bumbleberry mead, which is a peanut butter or a jelly type flavor one, and you go get a peanut butter porter. Don't mix the two together. I've heard someone say that that's a terrible idea. But hold one, hold the other. Take a drink of one, take a drink of the other. Peanut butter porter, especially Lake Times, is pretty good. But just get your hands on a good, strong peanut butter porter. A little bit of that, a little bit of the Bumbleberry mead. You got a peanut butter jelly. It tastes like peanut butter and jelly, but will knock you on your butt. So maybe only have one of those.
One thing to mention too about the Moonlight, the Moonlight
Meadery
is they are not in Iowa. We do like to feature Iowa places and breweries, but this one is out of New Hampshire. But it was something that we wanted to try and wanted to feature, so I'm glad we did, even though it's not an Iowa brewery.
Well, we feature more than that. I'm from New York, so I love anything on the East Coast except for the Boston Red Sox. But other than that, I like pretty much anything over there. And anyone I know from Boston is going to jump on and give me a hard time since I'm a Yankees guy. Even from a New York point of view, I've always been a Yankees guy. I don't know that it's on any good authority that I'm a Yankees guy. It's not that I was also a Dodgers guy, but that's because I lived in LA.
Well,
I'm an Astros guy because I lived in Houston. So, and I really like Nolan Ryan. So, that one at least is educated because it's Nolan Ryan. But no, this is a really great mead. If you're in or around Wine Styles and West Glen, they have this. Pick it up. It's a very good mead. The cooking with mead looks really interesting. I never even thought about that. We always think about cooking with wine. And we just watched a thing with James Suckling on Masterclass. And he said, a lot of people just go and cook with bad wine. He's like, why? That's like putting bad food or bad water with your wine. Or bad, buying like the weakest ingredient you can put in. He's like, why not cook with good wine and drink it with it?
Definitely.
I'm like, I didn't even think of that. Why not? You know, just like I normally make my sangrias with the ones I'm kind of but it's got me thinking maybe I should make my sangrias with something that I like a little bit more. Maybe not the $100 bottle of wine.
Maybe not.
Because that's great on its own. But I go and get a nice, $15, $20 bottle of wine to make a pretty good sangria too.
Indeed.
But yeah, their whole cooking with mead on the site, once I get it to come up, I had it up and then I messed with it. They've got all these amazing, recipes here. Creme brulee, puff pastry with saffron chicken using mead. Could you put...
Hi, Matt.
Or soak a ham? I would think you could. That's actually a really great idea. They actually talk about a rack of lamb with vanilla and figs. So I wouldn't see why you couldn't put it in a crock pot. I mean, we got a new Ninja air fryer thing,
Yes.
the Ninja
Foodie.
And that thing is amazing.
It is amazing.
Amazing. If you like crisp foods, it's great, but it's not just an air fryer.
It's in a pressure cooker as well.
And sear and
it roasts,
steamer
it sears,
and
it steams, dehydrates.
It's funny. It's like the thing for men that they joke around about. It's like women or women go in and have to get an individual shampoo, conditioner, all that. And the men's one, it's like, hey, body wash, hair, car wax, paint stripper, all in one. So that's the Ninja Foodie. But no, that would be a great idea. Put the mead in a crock pot with a roast.
I think I might just have to try that.
I think we might be making another trip to Wine Styles to go buy us another 13.5 because 13.5% alcohol added to our ham or roast. Actually, I don't know if I would rather have a roast or ham that way.
I don't know. Ham and apples go well together, though.
But yeah, they've got some great stuff. Malaysian spicy chicken satay with peanut sauce.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. But no, they were great people. If you like this and like hearing about it, as our dog scratches upstairs, and I'm just going to go crazy.
Yes.
If you like that stuff, like I said, we talked, Brian, and he already mentioned that we might be able to get them on over there. Go check out Wine Styles West Glen. Hopefully we will get them on there. Hopefully when I have more followers here, I'll get them on here again too. Felt bad bringing them on when I'm still growing on this side, but at some point that would be great. Like I said, they were, for the notoriety that they have, opening up that their main person would just jump in on. Yeah. That's actually says a lot to me about the type of people they are. Mm-hmm. When just reaching out to them and saying, hey, we're interested in your stuff. We want to know your story. And they go, hey, we'd be happy to jump on and tell people about it. One, that's good marketing. Two, I think that's just really good people.
Yes. Very courteous, very friendly. That's always nice.
The dog's going to drive me crazy.
I know. I texted Parker. Hopefully he...
Hopefully he strangles them. I mean, love my dogs. All of them. All one of them we have left. We have two. But one might not. I mean, just kidding. I love my dog. Sometimes I'm going to love my dog to death.
They're naughty dogs.
Yeah.
Very naughty.
It's like I trained them. But, all right. So, like I said, that was our Moonlight Meadery 13.5. That's the story behind that one. Love it. Good people. Check it out. I don't know what I would rank that one. People, you'll be able to see this on. They're like, we should probably add your link at some point on here.
Yes.
But what would you rank that one?
I think I would give that a 4.
A 4?
Yeah, I would give that a 4. I don't always like the sweet, but once in a while when I'm in the mood for a sweet drink, then I would go to that. It was sweet and spicy at the same time, and I like apple flavor anyways, so I think I would give that a 4. It was pretty good.
And, actually in this case, I think we would be in agreement. So, meads can be sweet. This actually is not as sweet as some other light meads that I've had. The Bumbleberry is still, again, one of my tops. This one rivals it. The other one, made by the same company, makes the Bumbleberry, which I don't want to call out too much while I'm doing. Their light, I don't like as much. So this one would be between a 4 and a 4.25 for me on the Untapped scale, since they only let you go in quarters. So I'm not going to go like it's a 4.16. It might be more than a 4 for me. I don't know if it's a 4.25. Heck, go check out Untapped later and see which one I rated it as. Because I'm going to drink these after, and it will most likely grow on me, and we'll see. So, as we're talking, up to 7 viewers. That's amazing.
Hello,
if you're new
everyone.
here, come say hi. We want to know you're new, and we want to know you're here so we can interact with you, since we're all in quarantine, and we're just going to keep this going. At the same time, if you are new here and want to see and talk about more, not just beer, we do talk about more than just beer and wine.
Yes.
You know, especially me, I have my Tech Tuesdays, sometimes Tech Thursdays. If it ends with or starts with a T, it's probably going to rhyme with tech, and it could be one of those days. We normally post ahead of time. Those are your days to come in and ask whatever you want to know technology-wise. I've worked in a lot of areas of IT over my many years, and you can spend a lot asking those questions. But before you even go there, why not jump on, see if I can help you out, answer those questions, and just see where it goes. You know, see if maybe it fixes it. If not, it just puts you in a better space. If I don't know the answer, I probably know someone who does, and I will track it down, or I'll just bring it for the next one. We used to do this live, or I used to do a Tech Tuesday live out of a place called Cup of Kryptonite in town, and I used to love that. I mean, I still love that place. It's just not the same place anymore, and most of those guys have scattered. But, oh, good news! I'm going to switch over to the medium here so that we can bring up the comment a little bit easier. Darren, tried a hazy. Couldn't find a peach tree, but did try one called Contact Haze, and it was really good. I have tried Contact Haze. That one is really good. We did have the peach tree haze earlier. I'm not going to say we've been drinking. Like I said, the haze is a really nice beer to jump in on.
Yeah.
That is an IPA, but it's not as bitter
No, it's
as
not
a normal
bitter.
IPA, even though the IBU is normally higher.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where that not being filtered
Mm-hmm.
allows more of that fruit. You're actually going to get a pretty fruity
Yeah.
kind of drink out of it. Sometimes, and some hazes are almost too fruity for
Too
me.
fruity, yes. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of hop in there, but the fruit kind of covers that hoppiness up and doesn't make it quite as bitter. So that fruit is more fruit forward. So it's a good one to start with.
Especially if you're
quite
not normally
used to it.
big into craft beers.
Right.
So, but no, as I was going back to it, Tech Tuesdays, good time to ask those questions. I'll help you out. Otherwise, our normal shows, we've been working on them. They're coming down the pipe. We've already been talking in different parts about I'll be covering the Apple Watch. Normally with Nerdicus, a.k.a. Jared, or the other way around, Jared, a.k.a. Nerdicus. He'll be covering his stuff for League of Legends. We've already been talking. He's been working up hopefully a really good one to cover,
Yes.
where he talks about on that side what a top laner does from a gaming point of view. So you that have kids that play League of Legends can jump in and be like, I know what a top laner and a jungler is, or what a support does. Because before that, I did not know what those were. And I follow him on there, and it's a lot of fun. Maybe we'll have a watch party someday with that too.
Yes.
I'm sure he would love that. He'll cover that. And anything you want to know from a teenager point of view, he's 17. And part of the reason why I have the network security that I have between him and the other kids. But he'll be on covering that. We'll still be talking about the Apple Watch, some of the stuff I really like on that. So you'll see some episodes for that. Been partial recording it. We're going to go live so that you guys can ask your questions while we're doing it. But we'll have certain parts that are possibly pre-recorded. And we'll be covering more topics. So if there are topics that you want in future shows, by all means ask. This is your time to ask too.
Definitely.
And we'll try to work that in. And if you like what you're seeing, share to friends. Like the page. And you just go up to the upper top, over probably there, and hit like, and it'll let you know when we're going live. On top of it, go check out our YouTube. So we should probably talk and move on to the next beer,
Agree.
which I'm trying to figure out which one. Well, what are you thinking between all of these amazing beers?
I think we should save the porter for last.
Porter for last. That's so sad. You think Haze?
Sure. Let's do the haze.
As we're talking about hazes, in reference to my brother's comment, we're going to do the Lake Time Brewery Haze of Our Lives, which you'll see says any IPA. New England IPA. We were already on a New England theme.
Yep.
Might as well stay in New England. So, again, a haze just means it's normally unfiltered. Now, you can have a haze with no haze. It's possible. It's just where it falls into it. Like, this one's going to have a little bit of haze. Mm-hmm. But it's not nearly as hazy.
No.
I'm wondering if we're going to have some stuff at the bottom. I did not tip it. So normally a good idea with hazes is to take it if it's maybe been sitting and tip it. Because otherwise you can get stuff down at the bottom. Because although this one is relatively clear, you can kind of see my hand behind it. See? Hi, I can almost reach. Even though you can see my hand behind it, it's still going to have the same flavors and profile as a normal haze. Which, when I go back on here, Lake Time says, for the Haze of Our Lives, which I had up, like sands through the hourglass, the haze craze has cascaded into Iowa. This truly turbid IPA, which I'll have to look up what that means, is bursting with aromas of strawberry, melon, lychee, stone fruit, and citrus. A massive dry hopping is combined with an opaque look.
A little bit.
Yeah, we maybe should have tipped it. And cloying sweet finish, creating a truly hazy IPA. This beer features hop complexities as deep as your favorite soap opera, certain to be a guilty pleasure for all. That's good.
Ooh, that is good. Now this one is more hoppy than fruity to me.
Yeah, compared to a normal haze. Part of that, like I said, I've had before where it seems like when it settles, it's not quite as fruit forward. And I don't know if you felt the same. Like,
yes.
Like for One Man Mosh Pit.
Yes.
Now to throw out to another any IPA haze that we really like. That that one, when we let
it sit for a bit. Yep.
I felt like it wasn't quite as fruity as when I turned and tipped it.
Yeah. Afterwards.
So, having said that, I'm just gonna look up.
Yeah.
This one is Haze of Our Lives. I love the name.
Yes.
It might be. Well, was it the guy who was on Supernatural, which we love?
Yes.
He played Dean.
Yes.
Was he on Days of Our Lives, or was it the other?
No, I think it was him.
Which we love him. Not Jared Padalecki, but whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Dean. All I know him as is Dean. And he's my other long lost brother.
And I used to watch
which
that
is funny
show.
Since my middle brother's or my next brother's middle name is Dean. It just feels really weird that my TV brother's name is Dean.
Yes. Jensen Ackles.
Jensen Ackles.
Which I should have remembered that because Jensen was one of my favorite names when we were
so friends
having kids.
Rated that one. I find that odd. My friends have rated that one at 3.25, but everyone else rated that at 3.78. For me, who likes IPAs and likes stuff that's not too fruit forward, what's your message, Parker?
Yes.
For me, that one is probably actually higher than 3.78.
I would give it a 3.75.
Maybe so. I mean, by that I mean it's higher than what my friends rated.
Yes, higher than what your friends rated.
I would probably give that a 3.75. Maybe a little bit more. I don't like to rate everything the same because that's just a little over the top.
Yeah.
If I rate everything as a 4.
Yeah.
But this one's really good, and because I do like IPAs, I might actually lean a little higher than Aaron would on that one. Only because I really do like IPAs. Like I said, Soundcheck Session.
Yes.
IPAs, all those, I really love.
Yes.
He was in Dark Angel. I loved Dark Angel
Dark Angel was good too.
with Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
I liked because the whole crossover with they had powers that came from genetic mutation from animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I could see that actually happening. Between that and the Jurassic Park version, and then one of those two leading to a zombie apocalypse somehow, which I have mixed feelings on because I've read the zombie survival guide many times, and I know not to get in a van, but instead gonna get on a motorcycle because has anyone ever died on a motorcycle in a zombie movie? No. They all survive. The van people die. Because the people on the motorcycle are badass. So thus, I'll survive.
There you go.
They might not. And the other zombie survival trait, everyone knows. Do you grab a gun or do you grab a shovel? Which one?
I should probably know this.
The trick question would say grab both.
Well, yes.
But the preferred tool, or we'll make it easier, sword or gun.
Sword.
Why?
Because you want to chop off the head.
On top of, there's another reason though. Good. I like your way of thinking.
Yes.
Go for the head, the brain. It's because a sword does not run out of ammunition,
Oh, this is true.
but a gun does.
Yes.
Especially if it's a 6-shooter. You're sitting there without a Beretta and going bam, 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 bam. And you run out of 6 shells and there are 7 zombies. You better hope it's not a fast running zombie.
Right.
Like what Matt says. You know, since Mila, I can't say her name. I'm pulling.
Mila.
Yeah. Well, I know Mila. I love the Resident Evil series, so yes. But they are fast-moving zombies because of the T virus. And because of that, I am not going to be the one that runs out of 6 shells. I know she uses gun, but she's a human weapon.
Yes.
Because of the T virus.
Yes.
I'd like to think I am that cool, but I don't look that good in a red dress. I don't think.
Well,
I've
I don't know.
tried one.
We have not tried.
This week. But no, this one's pretty good. Again, tuned in on my Untapped, which you can to see what I rate it as. You know, friend me. I'd love to have you on.
Yeah. I do have an Untapped as well, but in our rush to get ready tonight, we did not get my Untapped link up there, but we'll do that next time.
We're growing the show.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I went from
I
went from one person to expanding to 2. Before you know it, the whole family's here drinking. And that might not be.
Well, your mom, your brother.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with those.
We'll go with the older ones.
Yeah, we'll go with the older. Yeah, that's why. Some countries is legal.
Yep.
Not this one, but
yeah.
Maybe if we go visit. But having said that, again, if you guys have questions, beer, wine, non-alcohol related, I can still answer those too. Unless it's those impossible to answer questions. I do know the answer to the universe is 42. Which is pretty important to know.
Yes.
There was just actually a study that, I'm trying to remember, that they found the number of actual proteins in the body added up to 42. And I was like, it's exact. It is right. 42 is the answer to the universe.
There we go.
It just proves it. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Love it. Makes me just want to say thank you for the fish. But you don't know what that reference is.
I didn't watch that show.
It's a movie.
I know.
It's a book.
I should read the book.
You don't even know to bring a towel, do you? I'm so
you know,
discouraged
we're
at the same
working
time.
up to that. You have so many old movies that I haven't seen.
That's not an old movie!
I know, but I'm just saying in general. We have lots of movies to catch up on.
Oh. All right. Well, we're going to move on to another beer because
let's do that.
I'm going to cry. So you said porter for last.
Yeah. Yeah. We should save the porter for last.
You know, Central or Court Ave has a really cool one called Porter in the Court. I love their names.
Yes.
We're not covering that one tonight, so I'm throwing out extra. But I do love their names. Porter in the Court. You know, the wig. You know, Pointer Brown, like almost like Murphy Brown. But that one's based on the dog. But they have such really cool, fun names for their judicially based for being on Court Ave, where we have our courthouse. So that's a lot of fun. One of the things I really do love about Iowa craft beers, well, beers in general, a lot of the craft beer scene, they have a sense of humor. Definitely. And that sense of humor is what partially endears me to it. But Iowa craft beers, of all of them, there's sometimes where I've seen a name change because they went, yeah, that last name was so... You should see the really inappropriate name we had when I work at the craft beer tent. They'll say that at the fair in different places. Like, yeah, the other name was terrible. It was great, but it was terrible. So we made it this, and that got us in trouble. So just knowing that they can try a few things, kind of like the brewing company, the Hoof-Hearted.
Yes.
My middle son would love that because he's just going to keep running around going,
he's
Hoof-Hearted.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm gonna want to strangle myself. Yes, Matt, it was. So I do like that you brought that back around to computers for me. It was part of a code for that. And the funny thing is, 42's been in so many different, even numeric signs for it, that it actually, where they actually said 42 is the answer to the universe, he had done his research and noticed that a lot of things actually do point to 42. Mm-hmm. And so when you bring them together, 42 could be the answer to the universe. And I endorse that because I love that. But we're going to move on to another beer because I don't know how long people want to hear me talk and rattle on. They'll probably rather hear Aaron talk, or rather they'd rather probably look at you. No. Compared to me. No. At some point I should just make the Zoom cam that's only you, and I'll just slowly move out of frame.
No.
And move.
No.
So, that brings on to the third beer of the night. Like I said, for us, the Confluence Quadruple Ale, which luckily that isn't going to read backwards because that would have been really odd. But the Confluence Brewing Company Quadruple Ale from their Virtuous Endeavor series, that's not the release they had this week. They've been releasing anywhere from 2 to 3 beers a week right now. They had a ambitious 52-week, because there's 52 weeks in a year, beer release schedule, which was normally 1 to 2 beers released anyway, and it seems like they've just kind of ramped up on that. Yeah. And we've been grabbing them each week and then sharing it with our friends at Wine Styles, and then turning around and going and hopefully buying what we want and like afterwards as we've been kind of building up the list. So the triple is on our list because we have one left, and we'll be probably going for that one. Might have to go down to Beer Styles to see if they have the long ride.
The long ride is one of my favorites.
But we grabbed a couple other Confluence ones that we don't normally or wasn't getting, and then they found Aaron's favorite, which we will be featuring. And that one, sadly, we can't tell you to go and get at Wine Styles because we grabbed the last one. And that is 50's Dad, but we'll be covering that in a future one. So if you've ever tried 50's Dad and want to live vicariously through us, we'll have that on a future show. Possibly, whenever Aaron feels like she wants to drink it.
Probably sooner than later, because it is one of my favorites.
Yeah, so with that, the long ride, we've seen a few. So Wizards is their kind of sour series. We've got a couple of those. This last week they came out with Blueberry, but this was the week before.
Yes. And
we really liked this one.
It's a Belgian style. Yeah. You'll notice when we pour this one, it'll be a lot clearer than the hazy we just poured. It's
this one ranks in at 10.5. So where we had the mead that was 13.5, Now, keep in mind, most beers, if I go back, the hazy that we had was a 6.5. IBU 35 or 34. So this one's that actually is less than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But this one is 10.5. Belgian styles tend, sip for me, pour one out for my homie. It will be more clear, but it's going to be more dark.
Sure.
But it's extremely, clear-ish.
Ish. Yeah, I guess it's more dark than I remember.
Aaron spoke too soon. She
I
should
did.
wait until I poured. Yeah, I'll let you just pour your own one.
Yes.
I really like this one. What's really great, they normally have their process on their webpage. Right now, with everything going on, they just really have their curbside information on there. But what's really cool, I should have went and grabbed their glass
Oh, yeah.
to show.
I can do that.
Yeah, if you can.
I can do that.
They have a really great tour where they have everything labeled in their brewery, and they cover the whole brew making process, or beer making process. And the guy who runs the tap room there, really nice guy. Loved that. But what's really cool is when you go on their brew tours, which you can sometimes catch on Groupon.
Yeah.
But if not, it's worth the money regardless. So no reason to do that. But what's really cool is they give you this glass. And this glass goes through the entire process. It's labeled on there, which is in their tap room to begin with. You walk down the wall or down the hall, and they label it down the side. But what's really cool is they talk about, hey, one is the grain mill. We get our barley. It goes to the grist case, into the mash kettle, or we add the water. Sorry, step 3 skipped. Water is very important when it comes to beer making. So much so, certain breweries will place themselves in spots where they know the water content because it changes the flavor. You can think about it. We've had water that's not all that great. Ooh, that's a hard question there, Matt. So Matt asked, do we prefer the Quad or the Cherries Drubely, which is someone we will be covering in the future. And
Yes.
I'm going to sneak peek and tell you, for me, I love the Quad. The Cherries one is
Even better.
better.
Yeah.
Better. Their age series has just been great. Another really great one, not to throw it back at my wine styles guys even more. I also really like the current styles. That's one. You go to beer styles, you can get that on tap if they have it there. They also still have the bottles and stuff on there, so you can.
They have lots of bottles.
That's one I'm curious if, and Matt and Brian could probably tell me better, if that's one that we could actually lay down and hold for a little bit, just because it was barrel aged in Templeton rye barrels. I would think we can hold on to it for a while. And it may change. I know it's not necessarily bottle conditioned, but I would think it might just hold on to that and or change that flavor just a little bit over time. And would be pretty good.
I think so too.
So much so that I might just want to experiment with that to begin with. But it's something to think about. Not everyone thinks certain beers, like, I'm not going to say the hazy ones you should grab and put to the side and lay down. But those barrel-aged ones especially have sometimes a quality where it's not bad to lay down. What's funny is certain beers, there's one of them we have that we're going to be featuring that says best after. We're so conditioned for beer to say best by. And no, that's not a throw to the actual company, Best Buy. But we're so used to seeing the Rocky Mountain freshness of some companies that I won't say so we don't get sued or something. Best Buy this day, and it'll change color so that it's good because it has to be so cold and rocky freshness that you don't taste it, so it tastes more like water. We're so conditioned to that we don't always think that certain beers should be like wines and others where we can lay them down and enjoy them for a long period of time or watch their flavor profile change. But they can. They're an alcohol content. They've got complexities to them. You know, I'm not going to say we should lay them down like every wine that's out there, but there's certain beers that can. do that. There's certain beers
Right.
that lay or lend themselves to it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we have a farmhouse ale up there that we've been laying down for a
Think
while?
so, yes.
That was designed to lay down. We got it from Wine Styles with that idea
Mm-hmm.
for it. But I would lean towards, I'm wondering how Current Styles would do with
Yeah.
that. But Current Styles is also one I really like. That was a collaboration between Confluence Brewing and
And Wine Cells.
Wine Styles.
Yeah.
But was that a little
So
hint?
the Cherries Jubilee, or Jubilee is probably our favorite over this one, Matt. But
Yeah.
also, what was yours? We're curious to know.
Yeah, that one I'd be more curious of the Confluence beers.
Do you
Or
have
if
a
those
favorite?
ones, do you have a favorite in order? But as I add that in there, the water, it goes to the mash kettle. They have their lauter ton, which we could cover all this type of stuff. Hopefully, I would like to be able to get us on a brewery tour
That would
and
be
just
fun.
bring that into the show because, one, Confluence does a great one. Exile does a great one.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every Iowa craft brewery I've been to does a great one.
Yeah.
Heck, they'll talk about it at Peachtree. They'll talk about all of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of it's just how far you get to see it. Boulevard down, which I loosely say that's craft beer anymore, but they are a really cool place to check out. Boulevard Brewery in Kansas City, they have a really cool one to go check out and walk through, and you can see the original where somehow the owner of that brewery got his wife to agree that they could sell their house, live there, start the brewery.
Mm-hmm.
Live there for like a year or two, make it big, and then they moved out. And so I'm not saying I'd like to sell our house and make a brewery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also not saying I wouldn't want to do that.
Mm-hmm. Who says we have to sell our house to do that, though? Why can't we just keep our house and
Wow.
then...
I don't think you know how much a brewery costs for what I want to put in it.
Good
Okay.
choice, Matt.
But Matt also said, so Matt's my expert I like to go to. So there's enough acidity in the Current Styles that it may not turn to a booze bomb. Like a lot of stuff. I like Matt's wording for
Yes.
it, which is why if you really like this, go check out White Styles West Glen and watch the virtual happy hours. This week it is the club pickup party, and there's, if you ever want to, we didn't know anything hardly about wine for many years ago that we joined.
5 years
It wasn't
ago?
a ton of years ago.
Mhm.
And they helped us learn. Matt does an amazing education series. They have a blind tasting that's coming up. And we've learned so much from Matt. And we've learned so much from Brian, too, and the other staff there. But,
Yes.
you know, we've learned so much from Matt over time with that. They've always been so good about sharing their knowledge. And, you know, being open to even the stuff we find and say, hey, what about this? And so, but it's that also fun. I'm going to remember that for a long time. Because the booze bomb is going to stick with me. So
Yes.
it's in such a way that I could go, yes. So I'm curious. So Suckling said, and then talking with the guys, you know, Matt and Brian too, they all reiterate the same idea that you can buy it instead of buying just one wine. If you like it,
Mhm.
maybe buy a case and decide you put some down and drink some.
Mhm.
So you can enjoy what you have now and lay some down and see how the flavor profile changes. At the same time, if you talk to them, I'm sure they can tell you when optimal times are to drink that. But you might be able to do the same thing for certain beers.
I agree.
You know, especially like I said, those barrel aged certain stouts. Some of them will become way boozy. So if you like really boozy, like you said, if you like a booze bomb,
Yep.
maybe that's your way into craft beer, as opposed to a light. I'm not gonna say which one. Don't want to get sued, or have someone say I don't support children's hospitals or something. Because I do. I don't have the money to support them, but I'll donate my page views. But no, they have everything on here, which is really cool. It talks about going into the whirlpool fermentation vessel all the way around on the glass. So if you want to learn a little bit about it, if you don't homebrew or at a higher scale, and they even talk about many, many, many areas, which I find very interesting. And I thought that was really cool from there, how they are. And we talk a lot about Iowa brews and Iowa breweries, but really the craft breweries around the U.S., I think, are really that way. If you're in Asheville, yes. Asheville is known for the scene. I got big into it in Seattle when I was there doing integration for another bigger company. But I've been really excited about the Iowa brew scene for a while. You'll normally find me in the only shirts that fit me now, the Iowa craft beer shirts. It's between that. Eventually I got to get another wine style shirt because that's what I back up. I said I go to their education series, which they were nice enough to give me a shirt before, so I wore it until I was swimming in it, and then which is not a bad problem, except for I really love the shirt.
Yes.
So
speaking of, I wore mine the other day, and although it was a little big on me, it still worked.
Luckily, they sell them, so we should just go in and buy a pullover or two.
Yes.
So
I think we're ready for our last beer.
The last.
Which falls into
which
probably...
is the last of... Well, it's really the last of them with you guys.
Yes, yeah.
It's the first. It's the first of the off-air ones. As we work our way back through the unfinished cans.
So this probably falls into one of more my style of beer, which is the dark or porter.
Let's say, I hope we're not muted. It says that the sound is going out, Matt.
Huh.
So Matt says it may be muted.
Can't hear any audio.
I would try to refresh. So I can't type. Well, actually, I can type. I'm cool like that. Let's do a little. Well, let's do a little text here. So, for my friend Matt. So, IT is all about finding a problem and fixing a problem. So, what I'm going to do is, this is my logo. I could just leave Matt out there, but I don't want to leave Matt out there. So instead, I'm going to go and edit this and say, sound says it's going out. Try refreshing the stream.
Oh.
Stream, Matt. We love you. So, for my friend Matt, because technology is all about finding a solution, not finding a roadblock, and maybe I should make that a shirt. If you want our first shirts,
be a good shirt.
If you find 10 people to jump on here, I will find a way to get you a shirt. I don't have a logo yet. It might just be my face big on there going. But just in case. Otherwise, if we are muted for everyone else, sorry, Matt.
Sorry. We have been having some... Well, the internet has been a little
I fixed it
patchy
earlier.
today. Well, it wasn't just you. It was... CenturyLink. Had some issues.
Not saying any names of companies that could sue us, but Penitentiary Link may not have the best service. I've never heard a company say, hey, we're going to have an outage for 4 hours across all of these places. Good luck.
Yeah.
And not get someone fired. Because I'm pretty sure any tech company I worked for, and I'm normally known for my tech, I'm pretty sure I'd get fired. And would expect to be for something like that.
Yes.
But that's just me. We have 4 people on. Who's on? Is anyone else new on?
Hello.
Saying hi. Say hi for it. Share it out. We'd love to have you guys on here. We'd love to answer questions. Tech questions, beer questions, wine questions, science questions, trivia questions. I like trivia. All right, don't ask me trivia questions. I've had already a little bit.
You like trivia.
No, yeah, but I've had a little bit, and I don't want to fail today. I may have been a trivia champion before, but that's not today. I mean, right now, I can tell you if a peanut is a pea or a nut.
Oh, are you going to share?
No.
All right.
Turned off. What I really like is that Matt did the classic
extent of my troubleshooting.
Turned off and back on again. All good. You know, what I love, there's a show, and I'm sure you've already seen it, The IT Crowd. And the first episode, have you tried turning it off and on again? Sadly, in all of my years of IT, my first response is always, have you tried turning it off and on again?
Restart.
Yeah, restart. But I will go into one premise. And here's my tech side of it. Restarting is great. Turning it off and on, all of that. But as a tech who's worked in for many, many years, there is actually a cascading, and there is a reason why. So, everything you do on the computer, you always hear hard drive and memory. Well, the hard drive stores long-term. It's your long-term memory. It's like taking a photo and putting it in a photo album. You forget about it. It's just sitting there for when you need it. Memory, or RAM, is where everything runs. It's what you see. It's what you see with your eyes at the time. So it's like looking on the back of a viewfinder in your camera. That is memory, or where that's at. So when people say, hey, I need more memory, and they really need a hard drive, that's different. But what happens is everything from your computer loads into memory. So your hard drive loads the operating system into memory. That's where it all runs. So when you have 4 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs of RAM, 16, it's pulling it in there. And all that really is, as a best analogy, is RAM, or memory, is how big of a kind of like dump truck you have to move between your hard drive and your processor. So if you have 2 gigs of RAM, it's like holding it in your hands. How many trips do you have to make back and forth to the storage bin? 50. 4 gigs of RAM, I get a wheelbarrow. 6 gigs of RAM, I get a little pickup, a small car. 8 gigs of RAM, I get a truck. 16 gigs of RAM, I get a high-speed train. 32 gigs of RAM, I get a jet. 64 gigs of RAM, I'm getting a little bit excited. I get a supersonic Concorde. It's going to get me there. And if you have somehow 128 gigs of RAM, somehow you have instant teleportation, you're on a quantum computer, and you're my new best friend. But it's really that trip. It's how far it has to travel from point A to point B, and how much it can store. One trip. And how fast. So the more RAM you have, the better that goes. Well, all of that loads into memory, or RAM, random access memory. Everything in your hard drive can handle a restart. When you shut down, it's still stored into the hard drive. It's magnetic storage, or it's now what we call NAND storage. If it's what we call, or an SSD, solid state device, then it's stored in that memory and it holds it there. And SSD is just like your camera memory. It's just faster. It's no spinning disk. It's not like a record player where you have to jump around, which is what the old hard drives were like, magnetic storage. So as it sits in there and it's stored, it can handle a restart where RAM, random access memory, loses its whatever's in it whenever power's pulled away from it. So if everything that's loaded into RAM, if when your computer starts up, everything that's the operating system, everything that is loaded into RAM from your hard drive, then a restart essentially clears it. So if there was bad code, that clears it. Now I'm going to add my one preface. Every now and then I tell people, you rebooted. That's great. Did that fix the problem? And they go, no. I go, try a shutdown. Leave it off for 2 minutes. It's not because I want to buy 2 minutes of time. I mean, sometimes it is. It's possible. But normally it's because when I tell you to shut down, sometimes computers now are so fast and you have so much good resources on it that when it reboots so fast that it doesn't actually clear all of the memory. So a shutdown clears it. If I'm really fancy, I will pull the power cord, press the power because it clears the capacitor inside the computer. And then I plug it in and actually power it up so that it comes up clean and there is no errant code in it. So there is a reason for it. It's not always us being a jerk going, do you try turning it off and on again? Sometimes it is because we're being a jerk going, hey, do you try turning it off and on again? And buy ourselves time, but most of the time it's not. Most of the time it is it is to clear that memory. So that's why there is an actual technical reason. Now there's a reason why this is. It came back around to technical.
Yes.
Thank you, Matt. To bring this around.
Back to the beer. We are trying our fourth and final beer tonight.
Turn. Ooh. The
Haagen-Dazs.
Haagen-Dazs.
From Burr Oak.
Das.
Which is out of Missouri. Tonight.
I'm not helping you. I'm just throwing.
Well, I couldn't remember if it was Minnesota.
The really cool thing is on Burr Oak's website, which I was going to copy and paste on here, and again,
that
lazy,
bike ride, you know,
lazy. You can see they have really cool information on their website. Whoop, there we go. Now it's like it's almost like I screenshot it. In here, I'll try not to shake it too much. But they talk about it. So the cool thing is, it is the second beer in their Haagen-Dazs series, made with Lakota Coffee Company's Ethiopian cold brew, which anyone who knows me knows I love coffee. Mm-hmm. Ethiopian cold brew. Ethiopian coffee is just really good. Really good. I get really excited about caffeine in coffee. I used to use caffeine soap and shampoo and gum and drinks and
anything caffeine.
And I used to have a drink named after me that had 8 shots. It was great.
It was a coffee.
Yeah, no, it was an espresso.
Well,
it was espresso with a shot of milk. Shot.
So you definitely get coffee off the nose.
Mm-hmm. So according to them, it's cocoa, lactose, and it creates a creamy chocolate flavor. The color's dark. Bitterness is actually kind of low. Mm-hmm. But what's really cool is on their site, they have view more food pairings and recipes on our blog. So they actually have food pairings and they link to it, which is pretty neat. You know, for their site, they have a lot of good information. Burr Oak, I've been impressed with them in the past. And they're still something I'm impressed with. So outside of Iowa, that's what I was saying. Iowa craft beers aren't always they are always really great. Yes, they are very good. But there are other ones outside of the state that we really like. Yeah. And really enjoy. There's lots of people doing really cool stuff. But I'm also still a big fan of Iowa craft beer.
Yes, Iowa craft beer is our top. But it's okay to try ones from other places. And Missouri isn't that far, so no reason not to think that you can't take a road trip.
I'm not going to say, hey, Burr Oak. If you want us to come do a brewery tour, say hi. And I will come down and do we'll come down. Yeah.
This is a pretty good porter. Very, very coffee flavored. Just that maybe a little bit of sweet on the finish, very, very light, where maybe that milkshake name comes in.
This one would actually make a really good half and half.
Oh yeah.
So mix it with a light beer. So what happens is you put the light beer on the bottom, and you take a spoon upside down, so it drizzles over, and you pour your porter over the top, and it makes a half and half. Mm-hmm. Which we might feature some other drinks in the future when we try that. This would make an also really good non-country specific carb bomb, or whatever they call it now. That would make a pretty good one. Which I can say I'm Irish. I'm not saying it was called an Irish carb bomb. Oh.
First time I tried it this year.
But having said that would make it pretty good. But this one on its own would be great by a fire pit.
Yes.
Great not by a fire pit. Great for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This
Very
one actually
tasty.
get a pretty high rating for me. What would you rate this one?
I wish we could rate in between the quarters, but
Well,
I would say
Well, we can do whatever we
yes.
want.
I would say in between a 4.25 and a 4.5. Darks
Ooh.
are my favorite, so I probably lean heavier on the dark side. So this is pretty good.
I mean, check out that color. You
Mm-hmm.
can kind of see. Nice and dark. For me, I'm actually gonna rank this, and I'm pretty specific on my porters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very specific on my beers and where I go. If you don't deserve it, I'm not gonna give it to you. You know, again, go check out at Glitch, because there have been beers that just completely fail for me. I normally appreciate the science of what they did, but it failed. In this case, this is amazing.
That's good.
This is easily a 4.5 for me. I might rank this one up at a 4.75, which is
Wow.
crazy for me to do.
Yeah, you don't do that very often.
I mean, the only one I think at a 4.75 or even a 5, the closest to a dark beer, it might be Surly's Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what I've ranked that one as. I'd have to go look it up.
Yeah.
You know, thinking on it, what did I even rank, or what have other people ranked this one at?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna go check. Well, and that's the. Well, you stole it. The Mochaccino Milkshake Porter. Mochaccino, if I can spell it. Mochaccino Milkshake Haagen-Dazs.
There it is.
So the average, so I've already checked this one in, or no, friends have before at a 4. And everyone else has been a 3.86. I think they severely underrated this one.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not, but I could be. Just kind of curious about. You can't look down at your phone at the same time as me. It doesn't work. It doesn't work from a presentation point of view. Yeah, see, you've got to entertain the people while I do this. Because I didn't create the zoom in.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So 2017, I did not rank the Surly Darkness as high as I said.
Oh.
Now I feel kind of really bad about that. I'm going to have to do a better job of knowing which ones I ranked it as.
So I'm new.
Oh, wait.
I'm
I
new.
did a 4.5.
There you
and
go.
a past Surly Darkness as the generic Surly Darkness. I did a 4.5. So I am redeeming myself,
There you go.
for lack of better. 3 people on. Say
Hello.
hi. We want to see who you are and what you are drinking or what you are interested in tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
As we're wrapping up.
I guarantee you, normally my hair goes back farther. From my, I really like to style mine with a higher widow's peak. And more of a bald spot up here.
Mm-hmm.
But since I couldn't get a haircut for another 2 weeks, this is what you're stuck with. You're welcome.
And see, I like it this way because I like it a little longer. So I'm okay that you haven't had a haircut for a while because I think it looks good.
Look, I almost have a bouffant. I'm like one step away from being Edward on Twilight. Yeah, if I took some glitter, just
There you go.
I'd be like, look at me.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes me want to go watch the movie.
Yes. Yes, that was a good one.
I like that the people, I scared them
would.
away like instantly. Like just instantly.
No, you didn't scare them.
No, literally, we went from a few viewers to like
One.
like one that went
To our 1 or 2 friendly viewers that have stayed with us the whole time. Thank you.
that went there and said, Brian's only half crazy. we like Glitch just enough to stay here.
Yes.
And the other ones that went, no, that guy's crazy. I should just leave. We still welcome you. You can come back. You can catch it on the
anytime.
replay. You can come like the page still. So as I'm thinking on it, again, here, our Untapped page. I just now realized that was muted. That's only really good during the times when we're going over our happy hour. I mean, it's good all the time, but in general. You can also come and like us on this page. I'm kind of worried how much time I was talking on the other scene when that was up. And it was muted.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was muted.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Oh.
No, tech stuff. You'd think I'd be better at this since that's my livelihood. And then zoomed in here. Hi. How are you? I'm just going to move in closer. It's just a little bit more awkward. Hi.
Quit it.
So on our non-drinking days, I still answer your tech questions. Not nearly this close. Maybe a little bit closer. Not nearly this close either. But I still answer your tech questions. Other times, if you have a topic you want, post it on our page. It's Glitch 2600 on Facebook. If you're seeing this on YouTube, mention a comment. Mention something you'd like to have covered. Future episodes are already being developed, and we're going to talk about the Apple Watch and League of Legends. Mm-hmm. But if there's a topic or something that interests you, I would like to cover it. If there's technical problems you're having, other people might be having them too. Ask the question. It's nothing to be worried about, and there's no dumb question.
Nope.
Except for that one dumb question. But no, there's no dumb question. Ask it. I won't call you. If you're really worried about it, just message me on there. And I'll make sure you stay anonymous. And I'll just say, hey, a bunch of people have asked me this question. And not Jim Smith in Wisconsin. Now there's going to be a Jim Smith in Wisconsin that asked me the question. I'll be like, I really didn't mean that. But with that, ask those questions. I'll answer them. I will track down the answer and get you there. You know, sometimes with technology, it's not always the answer you want, but I'll find you a way. There's always a way to get that, always a way to answer and get you there. So, with that, I really hope everyone's been having a good time. We're going to keep doing this. 1 to 2 times a week, you're going to get a happy hour. They're thinking most of the time it's going to be on a Sunday. Most of the time it's going to be better produced. This week kind of fell through, but we already have the beers that we're picking for the next show.
Yeah.
We have that, and actually the next
couple of shows.
Probably 2 or 3, because we went in and enjoyed that at Beer Styles and picked those out. We have some really good stuff on tap too.
Yeah.
Thanks to Matt.
If there's something that you're interested in that you haven't tried, that you would like us to try for you, we are more than happy to do that as well.
That's a great idea. One
Let
more
us know.
reason to drink. Perfect.
We will give you our honest opinion.
Yeah. And as the bar gets done, somewhere over there, we will move to that direction, and we may have mixed and other drinks that we're going to cover for the happy hour.
Yeah.
But again, on the normal times, Tech Tuesdays or Thursdays, we'll be posting up a new one soon. That's where you can ask your tech questions live on the air, and we'll answer them. Last week we ended up with I ended up with questions that were not necessarily tech related, but we still covered because it's keto, and I was messing around with that. So in a level of different workout setups for it. But hopefully production value just keeps increasing as I do more and more and get farther into it. We have lights coming this week. Lights, camera, action. I have other cameras that I'll have set up for that. But as I'm working on getting another project done, once we move over there, that'll be the normal set, and things will be great. But otherwise, we will have normal episodes too, where we're talking about a specific topic. But if there is a specific topic you want or want us to cover, just ask. If you want to know how to do live streaming like we're doing, I'm happy to talk about that. Products we've used, products I've messed with. If you're interested in photography, I'm a certified professional photographer. I've spent years, or there's only 2 to 3% of us worldwide. I'm happy to help you on your course and questions you may have in that aspect. If you want to know the right Mac, the right PC to buy for yourself, what type of processor, you see the i5, i3, i7, i9, J22, K, who cares? Those last two don't exist, but there's different ones out there. Are you able to get by with an AMD chip or an Intel? I can answer those questions for you. What type of what wireless do I run? What sound do I run? What do I have here? Ask.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to kind of work out your scenario and see what I can do. And but otherwise, you'll see those episodes. Subscribe. Go check out up there. Hit the like if you're on Facebook. It might be the same direction if I'm on subscribe for YouTube, or otherwise it's like down there. I should probably work those two out. And love to have you keep coming back. And to answer the question from Brian, do I have pants on? Well, I'm not standing up. So
the kids are in bed, so yeah, I don't know. Do you have pants on?
I have shorts on. So it's technically no. Unless I'm not wearing shorts. But I was lying. The world may never know. You can ask those questions on Tech Tuesday.
Yes. So
on drinking days, I still have more beer to drink. So again, thank you for everyone who came out. Thanks for putting up with me for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, thanks for letting me join you.
And if you have questions even after on the replay, you can still post questions here. We'll work them into the next ones. We'll try to tag you when we know we're going to cover those questions so that you know it's your question being answered and know which one to grab. Again, we're going to be working on more of those. Go check out Wine Styles West Glen, Beer Styles, any of the other places that we kind of mentioned. Go check out the breweries that we mentioned.
Yeah.
Lake Time.
Confluence.
Moonlight.
And
Burr Oak. But especially, they were all really nice and very courteous to us as we've been trying to get more info on them. And the next one we'll have a little bit more.
Yeah.
We'll have more beers to cover in the next virtual happy hour.
So until the next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're going to fill those.